at all. She loves Chuck Berry and that the 50s rock and roll. And that's the kind of music that I heard in my house as I was growing up as a little kid in the mid-'60s and '70s.
Yeah, that's a great tune. I'll tell you what, let's go to that right now. The Ballad of the Burglar. J.P. Reale is my fabulous guest. Here we go. Thanks. Be right back.
Liquor stores, I'm tired of running for my life. Tired of riding shotgun, tired of stealing for my wife. She wakes me every morning just to send me out to the store. She wakes me every morning and send me out to the store. She tells me you don't need a credit card, just don't forget your 44. Thinking, sonny boy, you better run. Tell me, pretty mama, what am I supposed to do? Tell me, pretty mama, what am I supposed to do? You're gonna get me busted trying to prove my love is true. Trying to get away from his wife.
We are back. The Ballad of the Burglar. J.P. Reale is my guest. And, we were just talking, Magoo's kind of on the injured reserve list. I don't think I'm the first one ever got hurt in teaching music class, hey?
I think maybe somebody may have gotten a cymbal to the shin or something at some point, but I don't know.
Anybody with the name Magoo, and who Magoo, he does fall down and sometimes, but so is life. But thanks again.
But he's lovable.
It's lovable, that's right. And, that name just comes from a big fan of The Who, and Magoo is my nickname in high school, like, oh, Magoo, you've done it again. So that kind of fits. I'm not even kidding you. I've fallen through piers, things happen. It usually happens to me. So that's kind of that. And back to that awesome tune, that Chuck Berry theme-ish kind of song, The Ballad of the Burglar. Yeah, that's about a gentleman, a gangster, and he's got to put up with the gangster wife, hey? Kind of reversed roles a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like about a guy who he's bummed out because the only way his wife will love him is if she goes down to the store and robs whatever she wants. You know, it could be a bag of groceries or it could be a pair of diamond earrings. And she's like, go out and get me something. You don't need your credit card. Don't forget your 44. And it's fictional.
Yeah.
I forget where we left off. Did I talk about this before you played the song?
Yeah, we jammed a little bit about that, and
we so it's not true.
We don't want to get into all that, like it's a bio or whatever. But the neat thing with your artistry in the songs, you can kind of come from those different angles and come out of your shell, should I say? Because so many things we were talking about, Woody Guthrie and your Dwayne Allman and all the people that you've looked up to, because you have a real. Besides that one song, The Burglar, you have a real theme for patriots or people, and it's a deep thought music, should I say.
Yeah, I don't intentionally set out to do that, but one of my favorite songwriters of all time is the late, great Jim Croce of Bad Bad Leroy Brown fame, and the characters that he created in all his songs have stuck with me forever. We were talking during the break about how I grew up in a musical home, and my parents are music lovers, and my dad, even to this day, he's 83. His birthday was yesterday, Monday. He was 84. He's 83. He's still a huge Jim Croce fan. And they got his music when he was alive. Of course, he died, I think it was 1973 or 74.
Yes.
And we always listened to those records, and just every single one, I know what Bad Bad Leroy Brown looks like. And Speedball Tucker is another one of his characters, and Rapid Roy, the stock car boy. I can see those guys in my mind.
Right.
The descriptiveness of his music was tremendous. And in fact, specifically in the song you just played, The Ballad of the Burglar, I used that also because Chuck Berry's descriptiveness in his music is impeccable. And I wrote these lyrics and went, okay, every song I write goes through several incarnations, and I literally read every word many, many, many times and try to find the best word. And I don't sit there with a thesaurus, but I'm not afraid to go to use one if I need to. I try to find the perfect word to describe what I'm trying to convey to the listener.
Yeah, and, speaking of Jim Croce, I just posted yesterday Time in a Bottle, and I haven't seen that or heard that in a long time, and I'm also from your generation, or should I say, late 50s. Yeah, is it Time in a Bottle or Message? I think it's Time in a Bottle. Is that not the...
Yeah, Time in a Bottle was one of his big hits.
And to sit there and to hear that tune nowadays, and then it showed the video of him and his son. So it's very much so. Those are the music that touches our soul, and that's what you're trying to present now with the Highway of Cruise.
Right. And it's kind of interesting because I always thought Jim Croce's music was Bad Bad Leroy Brown is kind of a barrelhouse piano bluesy song, and Time in a Bottle is a tender ballad. And he wrote songs to write songs, and he was, I guess, considered a folk musician, but some of his stuff is flat out rock, and some of it has strings, like Time in a Bottle, and some of it is a little overproduced in my opinion, but that's the way they were doing records in the early 70s. And so this collection of songs, to me, seems a little eclectic, although there is a common thread that it's American music. So you played The Ballad of the Burglar, which is classic 50s Chuck Berry style rock and roll. The title song, A Highway Cruise, is, I would call it blues rock. Some people have called it southern rock. I think it sounds southern rock because of the way the musicians played on it, the solos and stuff, and the lap steel guitar. It's actually not bottleneck guitar. But that's a song that came about, I wrote in 1986, about an incident I was having with a female friend of mine, and I decided that it needed to be revisited. And at the time when I wrote it, you mentioned that I'm influenced by Duane Allman, and I have been, although I never got to see him play. I was too young. I wrote that when I wrote A Highway Cruise in 1986. There was no Allman Brothers Band, so the band I was in at the time, we used that as kind of our launching pad for extended jams, a la Allman Brothers style, because the band had broken up and Greg was playing solo and Dickie was playing solo and a couple of other guys had some other things going, but I wanted to hear that type of playing and that tone of guitar, so I wrote that song, and I rewrote a couple of the verses for the new album to make it more modern and to make it more about a topic that's on everybody's mind today, and that's the topic of immigration in this country.
Yeah, you hit on that before. My view on that is that's the problem that's been going around the world. Immigration has been moving forever, and they build walls forever. If you go back to history,
right.
When are you ever going to find a place that encompasses and then welcome? I don't know. It's continuing forever, should I say, in one form or the other.
Right.
And
it's that's right. And people want to come to America because it's a great place, and nobody's immigrating or emigrating to Iran or North Korea or Russia or China obviously there are other countries that people are moving to, but America is the land of opportunity, and you can come here with nothing, like my grandfather, who spent several months in quarantine at Ellis Island in New York and made a better life for his family and the subsequent generations after.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I talked to A.G. Weinberger a couple weeks ago. Now, he was in Romania way, and he was talking about, America, the last way stop in the world. I mean, it's kind of the last place the people that want to go to, is what he was saying at this point. So,
well, at this point, yeah, and I think you're right, because I actually in 1991 and 92, I played in Japan. I got hired to do a 16-week residency at this park. It was a very strange place, and you could only get a visa for 3 months, and we had to take a day off and go to the visa. The management company had to escort us, and the day before our visas ran out, and we had to renew our visas, and because this management company was responsible for me, they literally, when our gig was over, they took us to the airport and walked us to the gate and watched us get on the plane, because living in Japan, trying to stay there, immigrate there, get a work visa, whatever, is so difficult, and the government is so uptight about it that if I were to stay and wasn't working for the management company anymore and then get in trouble, the management company would be responsible. Like if I were to get arrested or do something, whatever, there's not a lot of, there wasn't a lot of street crime back then. But so I can understand, like, other countries are very tight with who they let in and out.
Yeah, it's different protocols and different situations, and we are
exactly
a land of a lot of people. So I'll tell you what, my friend JP Reale is my awesome guest on Magoo. It is now 4:24 Central Time. Are you East Coast, aren't you? Out in Virginia way right
East Coast,
now?
yes.
Yeah, Arlington?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's go to
the... outside D.C.
Are you Redskins? I'm Packer Cheesehead. I always got to talk a little bit of sports or something. Who's your team?
No.
No.
I grew up on Long Island in New York, and I was a New York Giant fan.
Yeah.
And because I've been playing music so much, I'm usually not home on Sundays.
Right.
And it was really, the truth is, when the New York Giants won the Super Bowl in 1986 with Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I said, that's enough. Because I was a fan when they were so bad in the 70s if they would get a first down against the Cowboys, I would be happy. I would consider that a victory. So once they dominated the